let us not waste time.
You can upload later, don't worry.
Yeah. Hari Om to all the Atmajyotis, divine light of the self, and pranams to the holy feet of our Sadguru Shri Prabhuji. We'll be starting our Jnana Jyoti session 4 today. And before we start, let us just have a prayer. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Akhanda Mandalakaram, Vyaptam Yena Characharam, Tatpadam Darshitam Yena, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome all. We are at the session 4 and our topic for today is Itihasa and Purana, and each one has chosen a topic to speak on the Adibhautika, Adidaivika and Adhyatmika aspect of about any one chosen topic of Itihasa and Purana. And the timing is 7 minutes. At 6 minutes, an alert sound or something will come up, and at 7 minutes, and better if each speaker also keeps a timer. And after finishing the talk, please remember to do the self-evaluation, and later the Purva Pakshi will ask a question, and if Purva Pakshi is absent, somebody else will ask. Otherwise, we will move on to the evaluation. Imaniji, if she is doing evaluation, she will be doing it. And then we'll move on to the next speaker. So the first speaker for today is Shobana. And her topic, I think you can announce the topic and start speaking. And
I'm trying to share the screen.
Okay.
So,
okay, we asked actually, yeah. 1 second, wait. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. And Sharonji will be starting off the timing.
Yeah.
When you say you are ready. Yeah, you can start, Sharonji. I think I will also keep.
So, Hari Om. Guru Bhyo Namaha, Guru Padukabhyo Namaha. So, today we are talking about Purana and Itihasa, and a character in Purana, that is Bhagavata Purana, I have chosen, that is Avatara of Parashurama. So I'll be speaking a little bit about Adibhautika, then Adidaivika and Adhyatmika parts of Parashurama Avatara. So as we take up Adibhautika, there have been evidences in the Itihasa that Parashurama was there, and towards the Konkan coast, he had taken up the Samrakshane, that is, he took up the Rakshane Bhavana of that entire area, because that entire area was being troubled by the power-hungry Kshatriyas. So, there is evidence of his existence in certain places. Mahendra Parvata, it is called, where his ashrama is still existing. People go there, and there is a temple, and they do darshana and come back. Then there is this place called Gangapura. There is a Yajnavatika in the name of Parashurama, where he has performed a lot of yajnas and all that. You can see the places digging and up and down, and that area is blackish. The mud it is more like clay, and you can see the yajnas performed there in different areas of that entire place. It's when you go towards Ganagapur, Dattatreya Pitha and all, you can see that place too. So that means that there was a historical figure called Parashurama who lived during certain ages. It could have been Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, and he is still supposed to be there today also, Chiranjeeva. So that is the Adibhautika aspect of Parashurama. Then coming to Adidaivika, there are certain aspects in Parashurama's life that have happened without his parents and grandparents, though they were involved in bringing Parashurama into this earth, but there were certain things that have happened without their knowledge. So I will throw light on this aspect once I finish off the Adhyatmika part. So when we come to Adhyatmika part, Parashurama had all the qualities of a well-known, well-learned person. He was a jnani. Then he was well-versed in Vedas, Vedangas, Puranas, astrology, astronomy, and alchemy also. Sorry, there is a spelling mistake here. It should be Alchemi. Then he was a warrior. Like he learned all the vidyas that a warrior should have. Then he was dharmabadda and he was obedient as well as disciplined. So when we go back to this Adidaivika part, Parashurama was born with Daivi Sankalpa. He was the avatara, a direct avatara of Mahavishnu, but he was Avesha avatara. That is, only a part of him was avatara. Once the karya was done, the energies are withdrawn. There are 6 categories in avatars. Avesha avatara is one of them. If I have time, I will explain about the other categories of the avatars. So here, Daivika part I would like to explain because it is very important. Why Parashurama was Parashurama? Why was he so aggressive? Why was a person born in a Brahmana family, why was he so aggressive and he could kill 21 times Kshatriya clan? Kshatriya clan here means the power-hungry people who were troubling the others. So what happened was, it starts from Rishi Ruchika, who was son of Bhrigu Maharshi. Ruchika married Satyavati, who was a princess. She belonged to a Kshatriya clan. Here, after the marriage happened, they Satyavati and Parashurama, Ruchika wanted to have a child. So the alchemist in Ruchika wanted a certain kind of characters in the child that he is going to be born to him. So what he did was he prepared a potion where he brought in Rudra energies and enforced into this potion. Seeing
6
this,
minutes over, Shobana.
yes, seeing this, Satyavati's mother also said, I want a son too. So please make for me too. So he made a potion for her with all the Kshatriya gunas and, with warrior kind of characters and all. But then what happened was these 2 women got together and thought that we will exchange the potions, and they exchanged the potions. So this was realized by Ruchika, Rishi Ruchika, and with his jnana and with his alchemic energies controlling mind, he controlled certain things, certain aspects, and then the child was born, who was Jamadagni. So he could stall for one more generation. So Jamadagni married Renuka, and Parashurama was born as fifth child of Renuka and Jamadagni. Jamadagni knew that this has happened, this portion had all the Kshatriya qualities. So what he did was he decided to send or teach Parashurama to be calm with the jnana knowledge that he could inculcate or give it to him. And he was initiated into the Gurukula initially only, in the beginning itself, so that he will learn to be calm and not express the warrior-like qualities. If you give 1 more minute, I'll continue. And
It's
then,
8 minutes, Shobana.
Already 8 minutes.
so what I will do is, I'll conclude saying that Parashurama had all the Daivic elements in him to carry on his avatara as Avatara Purusha. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Sometime later, I will explain the other parts. Thank you.
Thank you, Shobana. I think you can stop sharing the screen. You have taken 1 minute, 20 seconds extra. Anyway, that was very beautiful presentation because you have brought in all the three aspects, Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika, Adhyatmika. Yeah, of course, it is quite a vast subject to put it within 7 minutes.
Yeah.
You have tried it. And I think you can go for a self-evaluation and to ask a question. Purvapakshi Shravanji is absent. If anyone has a question after your self-evaluation, they can ask, and Vaniji will give the evaluation after that.
Yeah, today I could share my presentation. That was one positive thing that I thought I did today successfully. Then I wanted to explain a little more of Adi Daivika and coming along with it, Adhyatmika. How Parashurama evolved into Adhyatmic personality and how through Tripura Rahasya, how he went back to his Upasana and Tapasya, and then he's still there today. Those things I wanted to actually speak about. I could not because this particular story needed that much information. I couldn't reduce, I could have somewhere shortened it. So this is what I felt.
Yeah. Thank you, Shobana ji. Anybody has any question? I think
Can I
Purnima has.
ask?
Yeah.
Shobana, what is your understanding of what is Adhyatmika part? Of the three parts, Adi Bhautika, what is Adi Bhautika? No,
Advaita is physical presence.
Historical aspect.
Historical aspect.
And
Adi Daivika. Adi Daivika is something that happens without our knowledge. Like the portions were exchanged and, and the Kshatriya part got expressed in Parashurama. Then I'm calling it Adi Daivika also because that was predestined. Because Parashurama was destined to be a warrior and kill the Kshatriyas 21 times. So Adi Daivika part played a major role in shaping up Parashurama's personality.
Correct. And what is the Adhyatmika part?
Adhyatmika is how Parashurama realized that he has killed so many people and there was this guilt in him which he wanted to overcome and go towards Jnani. That anger control, he couldn't do it. He came back and he stood before Rama and said that, that.
That's again, that's Adi Bhautika only, Shobana.
Then
Adhyatmika means how it applies to me, not Parashurama, not his spiritual journey.
Actually, you wanted me, how Parashurama's...
No, the entire, the meaning of Adhyatmika part is what it means at a spiritual level to jivas. That's
okay.
So that little, I could see that little confusion of what the whole thing meant in the first place.
Yeah. It is basically how a person can control the anger by turning internal like Parashurama did, then he found Dattatreya came and gave the Tripura Rahasya to him. Then he did the Upasana. So, like him, if we follow the anger
No,
continues.
Shobana, again, you're getting it wrong. If you don't mind, can I just give a
Yeah,
little
yeah, please,
example?
please.
See, for example, Ramayana, Rama, Sita, Lakshmana, Hanumanta.
Yeah, yeah.
Rama is, of course, consciousness.
Ah.
Sita is the mind,
Yeah.
and Hanumanta is the bhakti. Like that, those kind of comparisons have to be made, basically.
The
You think about
symbolism, metaphors.
Typical symbolism has to be made.
The Adhyatmika part was coming a little later after this Daivika explanation was. I couldn't fit in there.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So it's basically like Purnimaji said, all about symbolism and metaphors. It is the deepest layer.
Nothing
Yeah.
to do with Parashurama at all in fact.
Yeah. What does Parshurama symbolize? What do his
What he
weapons
symbolizes.
symbolize? That is the way it goes.
Okay.
Okay. But it was so many, I didn't know the story of Parashurama to this extent. So thank you so much, Shobana. Okay.
I think the intricacy of the story,
Yeah.
actually, I didn't want you to stop where you stopped. It's like cutting off the serial, at the climax.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to club that with the last Adhyatmika, the essence of it, basically, how it changed everything. So,
So whatever you presented, it was well presented.
Yeah.
And a lot of intricacy in the details. Like Purnima ji said, I also didn't know so many details of the Parashurama Avatara.
Very nice.
So that was very interesting to listen to.
he's something, an enigma. Yeah.
So I think also you could reevaluate the Adhyatmika aspects.
Yeah.
Now looking at it as symbology and metaphors.
I will, sure.
Yeah. Otherwise, a very nice presentation. And you yourself, can you please watch it later when the recording is shared, and you will get a better idea of what could have been cut out, what could be kept, in what way you could have shortened the time and brought in Adhyatmika.
Sure, I'll do that.
Yeah, thank you, Vaniji, Purnimaji, and Shobanaji once again. So we will be moving on to our next speaker, Kantiji. And Kantiji, I think you are already a co-host. You can share the screen. And Sharavananji will start the timer on the starting. Yeah. Sharavananji, you can start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hari Om to all. First, let me start off with presenting my screen. This is something weird. How to die? We would not allow anybody to speak about this, but this is the certainty of life. How to die was given by the story of Parikshit Maharaj. What is that story? Parikshit Maharaj is the grandson of Arjuna, son of Abhimanyu. He was ruling in a very good way, and he had earned the praise of the people. He was righteous, and it was going very smooth. One day, he felt like going to the forest and do hunting. So he rode on the horse and went to the forest for hunting. After some time, he finished his hunting, and then he was very tired, wanted some water badly, very thirsty. So he went to an ashram of Shamika Rishi. He called out for water. I am very thirsty. I am very tired. I need water. Please give me, he asked. But there was no response. Once, twice, thrice. There was no response from the rishi. He got so wild and angry that he got down from the horse, picked up a dead snake that was lying on the ground, and put it on the Shamika Rishi. This was seen by his son, the Rishi's son, Shringi. And instantly, he was so angry that he cursed Parikshit Maharaj that he would die on the 7th day. This was the story that is about the death that will be just in 7 days. How to die? What did Parikshit do? King Parikshit's reaction after this curse? Did he set out to protect his physical body? No, that was not what he did. He took up complete detachment, renounced all, and fasted unto death just for 7 days, being on the banks of River Ganges. What next? Was it the end of it? So he was moving towards the death. But how did he move to the death? With bhakti and surrendering. How did this happen? A guru to guide. His grace came up with Shukamuni coming into picture. And Parikshit Maharaj learned the essence or the way he has to die from Shukamuni. It was not just the death, but how you accept each day as we move forward in our life. Shukamuni gave Bhagavata Purana. It is a Mahapurana, Srimad Bhagavatam, and he gave it to Parikshit in the form of teaching. So that is what we know from this particular story. Way to die is the message from Srimad Bhagavatam. An eye-opener as to how to leave this world on the destined day. This is what we all have to learn. This is the lesson to us. We are sure that we are going to die, but how do we die? Here, we have to take the 3 aspects, that is Adi Bhautika. What is that Adi Bhautika? It is nothing but the way the king was, Parikshit Maharaj, how he ruled, how he gained the likings from his pupils. Then Adi Daivika. What was Bhagavata Purana is nothing but he surrendered to Lord Krishna. So Krishna is something he heard the story of Krishna Leelas from Shukamuni. So he completely immersed himself into the pastimes of Krishna. Krishna Leela was told in the form of stories. So that is Adi Daivika. And what is Adhyatmika? Renouncing everything, making clear of whatever the attachment he had, the kingdom, the whatever, the wife, the people, the riches, everything he renounced. And what he wanted, his goal was fixed. That is, he is going to die, but how is he going to die? Just to leave the body? No, but to reach moksha. So he worked towards that, and Adhyatmika is nothing but to reach the goal of moksha, that is to take that path. So being in Bhautika is something that we have to do, but along with that we have Adidaivika and Adhyatmika. That is, Krishna is something that we pray. That is something divine force that we will be praying or will be surrendering, and then the Adhyatmika part is what I am, the self, that is to be liberated. I must understand that. So that is what is given in Adhyatmika. So with this, we have a great lesson from this Parikshit Maharaj story. And with that, I conclude that we will have the learnings from Bhagavata Purana as an eye-opener. Hari Om.
Oh, that was right on dot, Kantiji. You just finished it at 7 minutes.
Satyavati, actually the
And,
timing for 6
actually, I didn't want to say it loudly at 6 minutes because your flow was so good and
Satya, the time has
total, huh?
for 6 minutes, Baba. So after that, they'll get 1 more minute, right?
But
Yes,
we
no,
in our message, I think we have mentioned it at 7 only.
7 only, yeah.
Sharavanan, you have kept it for 6 minutes, no?
No, 7, 7.
7?
minutes.
That, oh,
Yeah,
then I have a mistake.
7.
Okay, great. Fine, fine. Thank you. Sorry.
7. But we thought we will remind them at 6. But
No.
here I could sense that she is going to finish by 7. So I
Okay.
didn't say it out.
Done.
And yeah,
Okay.
Kantiji, that was really a very good story. The way you have presented it, you have taken the story through the pictures, pictorial representation, everything. And at the end, you even gave all the 3 aspects, Adibhautika, Adidevika, and Adhyatmika, and well within the time schedule. And I think you can go for self-evaluation. Again, to ask the question, your Purva Pakshi Pratibhaji has not come, and anybody has a question can ask, and then Maniji will give the evaluation.
Actually, the 3 aspects I could not, what I felt was it needed a little more time, but for 7 minutes with this story, couldn't be, I had planned for maybe including in between Daivika, Adibhautika, but that would be taking more time. When I rehearsed, that was not sufficient. So in the crisp pointers, I just took it as the 3 aspects, the Adibhautika, Adidaivika, Adhyatmika. So that was how the time was given more priority than maybe I could have given better justice to all these 3 aspects, I felt.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody has a question for Kantiji? Or Vaniji will go straight away. Evaluation. Yeah.
No, the
Vaniji.
Adhyatmika part was not very clear to me. Can you just crisply outline it once more?
I didn't get you. I just couldn't
The
hear.
Adhyatmika context of the story.
Yeah.
Can you go over the main points quickly?
Okay. So Adhyatmika is nothing but what I can relate to myself. Self, that is the how to reach moksha, how to attain moksha. So that becomes the Adhyatmika part. And here Parikshit Maharaj was destined to die on the 7th day. So everybody has that death as the part of truth in life, but how we take through the life. So that is, we will have to travel with Adhyatmika, keeping in parallel to our life, so which we forget. So what we live in Adibhautika, so which can be amalgamated with Adhyatmika life. That is what Parikshit did at the end of 7, like in the 7 days, what he did, we can put it in the right from the time we come to know of that death is certain and any day I might die. So that is the truth. So when I come to know that it is the truth, I can just prepare myself. How do I? Maybe I will have to do surrendering, bhakti, the Advaita part of it, the self being within me. All those can be taken up with Adhyatmika part.
Kantiji, what is the importance of 7 days in this? How can we relate it to our spiritual journey?
7 days.
I think long ago, yeah.
Time time and space has no reference. I don't know
Ah.
how it is. It is.
So I guess I mean I'm not sure if I remember it properly. So the 7 days is the spiritual journey from Mooladhara to Sahasrara. So how I listening to the Bhagavatam and the most sacred scripture. So understanding life experiences, devotion. He starts moving from Mooladhara to Sahasrara, and on the 7th day the life goes out of Sahasrara.
Wow.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That is the
That
Adhyatmika.
is excellent. That is excellent.
Yes.
So that is the way Adhyatmika is brought in.
Yes.
But that won't if we take up the chakras, won't it be yogic perspective? If you take it as self,
That is also Adhyatmika only. What's the problem?
Yeah.
That's that moving from Mooladhara. See, Mooladhara vasanas, then I go to Swadhisthana. So all my vasanas are getting purified, exhausted. As I'm listening to the most, Bhagavatam is full of devotion. And finally, I become one with the Lord Krishna. Parikshit is already a devotee of Krishna. So
Correct.
it was purification of all the 7 chakras. And finally, in Sahasrara, he gets
Yeah.
moksha.
so but okay, that is one aspect. But if I don't consider the yogic perspective, how can it be explained? Like the chakras itself, I don't consider.
No, this has Vedanta. Chakras come in Vedanta
Chakras
perspective
come
also.
into Vedanta.
Yeah.
Chakras are not just yoga.
Huh.
They represent different stages of evolution.
Hmm.
Wow. And for example, you
So-
could also say what did the snake represent? You
Yeah,
know?
Takshaka also in Adi Daivika,
Also,
Takshaka.
it will have a significance in Adhyatmika.
Yeah.
Those are the
Snake
things.
has a significance, Rishi will have a significance, Parikshit Maharaj will have a significance,
Yeah.
Shuka Muni will have a significance, Bhagavata itself will have a significance. So that should be the significance, the metaphor should be brought in Adhyatmika. I think that little bit of that confusion remains. So from that angle, you could assess it. There is also in Adi Daivika that story of Takshaka.
Yes,
the
and
serpent.
even the Kali Purusha also, that could also be could have been
Yeah.
taken, but due to short of time, I couldn't touch about the last that snake coming and biting in the form of a worm in an apple. All those could be told, but I had to concise it to just 7
Okay,
minutes.
now you tell. Karma. Okay, that signifies karma, alva. That snake coming and biting, that's worm becoming a snake and biting you. It's nothing but karma phala.
Yes.
Yeah. And I would say the snake that he put across on the Rishi is his Arishad Vairis, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, all that. We are full of such things. Thing like that. That is the Adhyatmika aspect, is what I was thinking. Okay. Done. Next.
Moniji,
Yeah,
will you
so I
share?
think very crisply presented otherwise.
Presentation was very attractive.
Yeah. Content, we have pointed out a lot of things and we agree that there is paucity of time.
Yeah.
That is a valid reason.
Correct.
But I think for all JJs, the concept of what is, the framework of what is Adhyatmika significance. So that might need some amount of clarification, which I think has been done now. So you can reevaluate the story from that angle for yourself. It's very interesting always when the Adhyatmika starts opening up. It's like layers are just opening up.
Yes,
For
definitely.
you, and aha insights will start happening. So it's an exciting process.
True.
And so that part, other than that, I think the presentation was good. Slides were good and it was very crisp. Only one observation about the visuals part of the slides. So you had compressed or stretched one aspect of the picture, not to make it fit into the slide. Especially the first picture was stretched vertically like that. So such things can be a little distracting.
No, I wanted it to be look like a Astana. So a big one. So
Yeah.
I extended with the background also, but that
Correct.
was distorted anyway.
So it's better to avoid distorting pictures. Either you can pick another picture from the internet which will fit better, aspect ratio will fit better, or you can change the composition of the slide itself. So that you don't stretch one aspect, either the height without stretching the breadth. So that it is better to avoid, because if somebody is very visually oriented, it will be pulling their attention.
Yeah, there only, yeah.
Instead of listening to what you're saying, they'll start thinking, oh, this should not be like that. This should not be like that. They'll feel like going and stretching it in the right direction. No, I'm not saying it will happen for everyone, but
Correct.
Yeah,
those who are
this
visually
I
oriented, for
actually
them,
did. I
it can be
knew this
disturbed.
would be a little not okay, yet I left it.
Yeah, it's not a major issue.
True.
Just because you're such a good presenter, I thought I'll bring it up so that it can become even more perfect.
I'm booking her for Katha Jyoti. You have to make a story of this Parikshit properly and give it to us. Okay?
Yeah, no time limit.
No time limit. You do it. And Shobana, you can do it for Parashurama. Okay? Done.
Yeah, so have a picnic.
Yeah.
So we got 2 stories.
Yeah,
for
we
KJ.
got two stories. And now we'll get a third one. Okay, let us hope. Who's next, Satya?
Yeah. Thank you, Vaniji, Kantiji. So the next speaker will be Sharavananji. He will also keep the timer.
Okay.
And Purnima-ji is the Purva Pakshi for Sharavananji. So you
Okay.
can start, Sharavananji.
Hmm.
Okay. Hi, Om. So today the story I have taken is of Nachiketa for the spiritual significance of the stories in our Puranas. And salutations to Sadhguru and all the Atmajyotis present here. So the story of Nachiketa comes in Katha Upanishad, part of Yajurveda. And Nachiketa is born to Rishi Uddalaka. He is also known as Vajashravas. And he does a lot of good deeds. And at one point of time, Uddalaka is like donating, and he happens to be like he's donating weak and old cows, right, which are of not use to the people who are getting it. And Nachiketa is like saddened by this. And then he wants to alert his dad, and so he goes and asks him questions. And when he's not getting the answers, he just asks like, hey, whom are you going to give me? Right? And by that time, like the father is all upset, and he says, you know what, I give you to Yama. Right? And being born to a very dharmic family, he says, you know what, yeah, I will go and meet Yama. So he goes, sits in for meditation for 3 days, 3 nights continuously, right? And finally Yama appears. He's very happy with this boy. He's sitting and praying for him. He says, like, you get 3 boons. Go ahead. Right? The first thing, he doesn't ask for himself. He says, you know what, my father has realized what he did. I want to get back to him and in a very happy way. Right? Great point to remember. Right? It's like first, like take care of parents. Next, he asks for society, again, not for him. He says, you know what, I want the society to attain the greatest place, which is Swargaloka. And like, what is that sacrifice that yajna we have to do? And very impressed with this ask. Yama says, he gives the details of the sacrifice, fire sacrifice, and says, you know what, from now, because of your question, I'm impressed, and it will be called by your name, Nachiketa Agni. Right? Good. The third one, he goes for the big one. Direct to the point. He says, you know what, you are the Lord of death. I want to know what happens after death. And there he goes. He says, okay. He's not expecting such a question from a small boy. Right? And he says, you know what, why do you want all these things? I will give you everything else. Ask me, like, you want all the toys, games, right? He says, no. Okay, how about like I will give you a lot of jewelry, wealth? No. How about I give you like big kingdom? Just forget all these things. And no, he keeps giving answers. You know what, all these are not going to help. I want to know the death, because when I die, everything, whatever you give me is not going to stay with me. And by that time, like, he is impressed, and he says, you know what, he knows. He has come clearly. He is very clear with what he wants, and the answer is given. That is Atmajyoti. Now, this is the story in short. Okay, let's move on to our Adi Bhautika perspective. It's like when I was doing research, I was thinking like, really, this is a story, right? Adi Bhautika, does it exist? And there you go, it exists. There is a lake, Nachiketa Lake, and in Uttarakhand, and where it's believed that he sat there for meditation, right? So it is there, and our stories are not just stories, right? We have all the places, and that's the importance of this country, right? You take a story, you get it, you get a place. Coming to Adi Devika, right? So this is one of the popular stories featuring Yamadeva, and like where he's revealing the highest knowledge of life, what he controls, right? And usually Ajnani is like afraid of Yama because he brings death, and this story shows like how a young boy, but definitely advanced seeker, like very intelligently faces Yama and gets the best from him. He's like, you know what, he's not like, oh, you know what, you gave to Yama, like I'm not going at this, no. And the third one, right, the Nachiketa Agni, the Homa, like how did the name come into picture? Like it's you get it from this story. Now let's get into the bigger one, Adhyatmika, like the boons, right? 1, 2, the third one is the biggest one. So Nachiketa represents the advanced seeker of truth. And this seeker is in each one of us. The one who is confused and is suffering. Why suffering? Because of ignorance, not understanding the true nature of the self. Right? And only a seeker of the highest knowledge gets the highest reward. Right? And like he was, as we saw in the story, he was given a lot of small rewards. No. You want the highest reward, you have to go for it. You have to stay determined. Right? You cannot, only when you are determined to get the highest, you get it. We learn from that, right? And this dana part, if you see, he was known for dana, but then we need to see what are we giving, right? And this reminds me like of the discussions we have in our satsang with Vijayji, where like we said, you know what, like whatever wealth we are getting, we are donating here and there. He says like these are all small. Go for the highest, which is the Atmajnana, right? And how do you do that? The Rishiyajna is the highest, where like it doesn't go down. It grows actually with more you give. Right? And we are doing that in our foundation, where with all the study circle and the Gita groups, right? And Yama in the story represents the Sadguru, from whom like one gets the ultimate knowledge. And like how the journey of the body ends with Yama, the spiritual quest ends when one meets the Sadguru, who gives the ultimate knowledge with which everything is understood. And so we, as Vanaji said, like when you start thinking from Adhyatmika perspective, like you just keep getting layers and layers. Oh, this is there. Oh, this is there. Like it just keeps coming. I definitely, when I started doing this, I didn't have all the points. It just came. And so what happens with that, Atmajnana, Nachiketa became the Jivan Mukta. And definitely is one of the most influential characters. And the very first time I heard of the story, I was impressed. And the moment I got the chance, I said I will talk about it. And one of our greatest saints, Vivekananda, right? He has taken his name. He said, like, if I get 10 or 12 boys with the faith of Nachiketa, I can turn the thoughts of the society and the pursuit where they're going. Because he was working hard to get the people in the right direction. Vivekananda saw people suffering, and like he didn't go to anyone else. It was Nachiketa he took. And let's all realize, remember that there is the Nachiketa in us. And let's stay determined and get the highest truth and attain moksha. Thank you very much.
Right on dot, Shravan Sarvanji. Thank you. And that was a very beautiful presentation. You have given all the 3 aspects very beautifully penned down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go for self-evaluation, and Purnimaji will ask you question if there is any.
Yeah, so I think this time I'm a lot more satisfied. I didn't feel like I put a sudden break towards the end. That happens. I think I kept refining. I tried 2-3 times to see, and I know the trap. The trap is the story. The moment you get involved in the story, you are out. And it took me 2 times to refine it, shorten it, and then focus on again in the later aspect. Give more time to the Adhyatmika. So I wanted to get that right. I think I'm happy with the effort today.
Thank you. Purnimaji? No
What does
question.
what do the cows represent?
Yeah, so the way I see is people, yeah. So in each one of us, when we like, there are times like where we feel like we all donate, hey, this, that, right? Are we donating that which I value the most? Is the thing, and it's not something like which I don't care that much, or like let's say someone who has like hundreds of crores of money and he's giving like 1,000 rupees or like 10,000 rupees. No, it's not that you are giving the right thing. You have to give the highest.
The
Right? And which,
tamasic dana. No, in the Bhagavad Gita it says it's a tamasic dana. That you don't want, you just discard.
yeah, not the used ones, and yeah, right, yeah. It can be given as like to not avoid the waste, but that is not called as dana. The dana has to
Doesn't
be
give you any punya.
something of the highest. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Anything you want to share, Vaniji?
I think it was a good presentation, except for the Adhyatmika part again, whether the metaphors are coming out. One more thing to look at is not every story may lend itself very well to metaphorization or symbolism.
Mhm.
Not every Puranic story may lend itself to it, or every Upanishad story may not lend itself to it very readily. Because if you keep on looking, you can make tenuous connections, and it's not that you can't. You can do it with anything and everything. So, selecting from this aspect that we have to give all three contexts. So, from that aspect, selection of the story also becomes very important. Which anecdote or which story have I selected? Are these three layers clear in that particular story? So, that apart, I think very well handled.
Yeah,
Very
so yeah, I was reaching out to Purnima. He said, like, can I go with this story? I was actually impressed with the way the first time I heard the story, and for some reason I wanted to bring that. Yeah,
So
but
Nachiketa, maybe one by one, if you start, you can say it represents a mokshatva in an aspirant.
yes,
Yeah, you said that.
Viveka and mokshatva, which refuses to get deviate from focus.
yes,
So one by one, you can take and you can do things like Purnimaji said. What do the cows represent?
yes, definitely, yeah.
So, but whether it lends itself very readily, because it's also from the Upanishads. So, Purana stories are more easy
Easy, right?
to find metaphors
Yes.
for, whereas Upanishadic story may not actually be metaphorical at all.
I just like
It may be
really love
more of an
this.
example to show how a seeker should approach the path, or
Yes.
how
No,
one should
I
behave with
feel
the
like
guru.
once we start, once we get this perspectives, I felt like everywhere, whatever I take, I can look into it and say I can bring out. So yeah, and this is not a story from a typical Itihasa or Purana.
Yeah.
But he was so invested in it, so he thought he would, talk about. Very nice.
Yeah, thank you for sharing it with us.
Sharvananji, one easy question. Whom does Yamadharmaraja represent?
Yeah, I was so that's where Sadhguru, I said, he brings in. Yeah.
And any significance of the order of those three boons that has been given by Yamadharmaraja?
Perfect. So I didn't think from that
And
point.
any significance of the sequence of what has been asked by Nachiketa? So why did he first ask about his father, and then the fire sacrifice, and then the, Atmagnana?
Atmajyoti, yeah. I didn't think from that point of view.
You got return visa first. Sanction.
That's one. Yeah, that's true.
Wanted to be of use to society, no? In
Yeah.
order,
One is the family, society, and then self is what. But I'm sure, yeah, we can see it in other ways as well.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, you made me think. I think
Yeah, in all the questions that Gayatri ji has asked, there are layers.
Ah,
So this particular story, probably you should look at it more as layers of sadhaka's journey
journey.
and Guru's Upadesha.
Correct. Yeah.
True.
This thing about the presentation itself, it was very aesthetic, very beautiful. All the slides and all were beautiful. But I don't think one needs to put complete sentences.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lot
I-
of little
just-
content heavy.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
Make
I-
it
bullet
light.
points on which you need to, the
I agree.
speaker has to elaborate on the bullet points and not put every comma and dot every I and cross every T over there.
I just typed it. Yeah, I agree.
Neat. If
90%.
just
Yeah,
the bullet points are there, it'll be really classic. All right.
perfect. Perfect. I agree. Yes.
Thank you,
Okay.
Sharananji, Vaniji, Purnima-ji. Our next speaker is Purnima-ji herself, and Kanti-ji will be the Purva Pakshi. I think she has already given the topic as Kamsavada. Yeah,
No,
she
no.
can
I want to talk about, you can
change.
start time shuru.
Yeah. Sharananji,
Hari
yeah,
Om.
yes, started.
Yeah, Hari Om, everyone. We all know the story of Ahilya in the Ramayana. So Ahilya and Gautama, they were a very dharmic couple who were living their life doing yaga, yajna, and they were leading a very dharmic life. If people start leading a dharmic life and getting nearer to God, who gets very disturbed? It's Devendra himself. He feels a threat to his throne, and so he feels he should do something about it. And then he says, I have to interrupt this couple's happy married life and dharmic life. And so we know that he comes in the guise of Gautama himself, the husband of Ahilya. And, poor lady takes him to be the real husband, and they have a jolly time. And then this Gautama himself comes to, he chances upon Ahilya dilly-dallying with his Indra in the guise of Gautama. And but he sees Indra, he doesn't see himself there. And he is supremely angry with his wife, and he curses her roundly and said, you become a stone. You have spoiled all my yaga, yajna, you have spoiled our dharmic way of life. You're a disgrace to me and to society. And so he curses her, and so she turns into a stone. Before she turns into a stone, she implores, no, I need a way out. You can't do this to me. And she tells him, it is, no, I did not stray. I really thought it was you, my husband himself, who has come, but he's not in a mood to listen. And so then she begs for a way out, when will I get moksha from this curse? So he says, in Treta Yuga, when Rama comes and all that is happening. So this is the basic story, and she turns into a stone, and then Rama comes, and then he stumbles upon the stone and she gets moksha. All that is there. Basic story. So kind of, see, many questions you can raise, because all these stories are, like Vani has been telling us, they're all metaphorical in nature. Adi Bhausika, did it happen? Yes, because the Ramayana is an Itihasa. It did happen. So I'm sure it did happen. Indra, was he, really, Indra, we think that Indra is there really a person called Indra in heaven that he comes and, does such things? That is where the Adi Daivika, Indra in the story is Adi Daivika. But for us, in a metaphorical sense, Indra is the senses, is our senses, right? Which is always outward going. So no matter how pious you are, no matter how devoted you are, this continuous exposure to the world will make us deviate from the straight path. So one can take it as that that is the sense of Indra coming and disturbing the sanctity of the marriage. And did Gautama really curse her? And who is this Gautama in any case? Okay, as a husband, yes, valid that he gets angry and he curses her. But what does Gautama really mean? I was thinking he could, our own higher nature, we are all guilty of, straying from the straight path. We give in to excesses. We indulge our senses, in a lot of things. And then if we are in a satsang like this, and if we are trying to be on the straight path, we feel guilty. We feel guilty. And sometimes we curse ourselves so badly. I shouldn't have done this. How could I? I'm in a satsang. How can I? Our own guilt, our own higher values can become a curse to us. And to such an extent that, you become petrified. You become so ridden with guilt that you cannot function anymore in a proper manner in society. That is also a possibility. Otherwise, in the Adibhotika level also, that Gautama cursed us so badly, that poor fellow, she was so paralyzed with fear that she couldn't do anything about it. Okay, did Rama really come and, make a rock come to life? Rama, as a Sadguru, can make anyone come to life. With Atmajnana, that is the whole point. We are all dead until the Sadguru comes into our life and gives us the right values. How to live, what to do, what is life, what is the purpose of life. All that is given only by the Sadguru. Okay, these are all my thoughts. But happily for all of us, I came across a beautiful interpretation of how to read this story in the scripture called Bodhasara, written by one Sri Narahari. In that, there's a little shloka which talks about this episode. It says, Abhasa Renubihi Tadvat Jadam Dehadi Chetati Ahilya Apishila Yadvat Ramasya Padapamshubihi. Means Abhasa Renubihi. Abhasa, like Renubihi, the rays of knowledge. The rays of knowledge, Jadam Dehadi Chetati. They come. The rays of knowledge bring even a jada to life. That is what it is, no? See, we are all jada only. The body-mind complex is jada. What brings it to life? It is Chaitanya. It is Chaitana. Ramas, like that, Ramasya Padamshubihi, the dust from Rama's feet, Ahilya Apishila, the stone called Ahilya, came to life from the dust of Rama's feet. Finally, it means that it is the Chaitanya, the Chaitanya which powers everything in the universe. The Jagat is Jada by itself, unless it is powered by Chaitanya. We are all stones, we are all dead bodies. All bodies are insentient. We are all Shilas only. Unless the Chaitanya powers it, nothing comes to life. So that was the explanation given by Narahari, Sri Narahari in the Bodhasara. It's got a lot of, that is my presentation for today. This Bodhasara has got all this little explanation of many stories from the Ramayana and the Bhagavata. So some other occasion we can share it. Thank you.
Thank you, Purnima ji. That was really very, very beautiful. The Adhyatmika aspect especially was really good. And yeah, and you completed it within the time also. All that information, shortened the story and gave the aspect which is really very important for all of us. All of us as seekers. Very nice. I think, yeah. Self-evaluation, I don't know whether what you have got to say.
I know, like everyone's complaint is that the time is very short. You can't really flesh
That's
it
what you
out.
made it.
Whatever you want to say, it cannot be fleshed out. One has to rush through all these things. I felt rushed, basically.
No. But yeah, you were able to give everything within that time. That's the
Any
thing. Yeah.
question?
Kanti ji, yeah, you have any question?
Yeah. Question is before the question, it was a very good interpretation. One thing is the inert stone being compared to our we being inert, the body being the inert is something that is ultimate. And one thing you said, our own values become curses, like being in the satsanga, that becomes, and we have the guilt. I just didn't get what it means.
We do feel guilty, no? Especially, see, it is like a white cloth. If on a dark cloth, a black spot doesn't show. But on a white cloth, one little black spot also shows up as a very bad, it's as a huge dirty thing. So in a person who is on the straight and narrow path, who wants to follow dharma and be on the right side of karma and God and all that, one little mistake, one can tend to one can tend to curse oneself badly and feel so guilty. It is possible, I think.
There are times where we say like, I don't deserve.
I don't deserve. How can I, being a Sadguru, being Prabhuji's student, how can I do this? I shouldn't have done that. I mean, you can go on that negative mode. So I thought that could well have become, that Ahalya herself could have been so ashamed, of her. How could I mistake this someone else for my husband? Maybe, you never know. All these stories were written long ago by whom God knows, and interpretations are many. So that's all we are also doing right now. But I would say that definitely, if I'm aware of what is right and what is wrong, what is dharma and what is adharma, I would definitely feel guilty if I was adharmic in some manner. And the Sadguru only has to relieve me from that conundrum. He should say, Are Bapra, forget it. Today morning, Prabhuji was saying, don't pay attention to anything. Summaniru means don't pay attention to anything except your consciousness. That's all you need to do. Don't worry about the body or the mind or your mind, monkey mind is thinking. Just go back at any point of time, just go back to your consciousness.
So again, we are associating the I to that. Oh, I did that mistake.
Again,
happened.
You're right. Again, we are coming down to body mind level. If I go on a guilt trip. See, that whole creation is sustained by this ego play only, no? Husband getting angry with the wife getting guilty, feeling guilty.
And even the Rishi being so great Rishi and Ahalya also, they themselves giving way to anger and not thinking and having balanced mind at that moment.
Sadguru has to come. Yes, correct. To remind us all the time that no, this is not done.
Very nice presentation, Purnimaji. Thank you.
Thank you, Kantiji and Purnimaji. Yeah.
Gayatri has got
excellent, Purnimaji. Very nicely done. All three aspects. Also, Adhyatmika will lend itself to different interpretations.
Yes.
Each person may see different things in the Adhyatmika significance. So one more significance I could see in the story, for instance, is mutual superimposition.
Adhyasa, correct.
So if you look at Gautama as the self,
yes,
or Atma,
yeah,
and then Ahalya and Indra together as mind and ego.
Very nice.
So the ego is always getting superimposed on the Atma and it is saying, I am the Atma, I am the Atma. So it will appropriate all the characteristics of the Atma to itself.
Beautiful.
So Indra appropriates he looks like Gautama, but he is not Gautama.
He is not Gautama.
He is an imposter.
Lovely.
So
nice.
The mind, Ahalya, Gautama actually does not curse Ahalya, if you go by that. The Atma will give them, there is another part of the curse. Indra is cursed with 1,000 female genitalia.
Oh, correct.
The story.
Top to bottom.
So female genitalia is likened to 1,000 eyes.
1,000 eyes, correct.
So the ego becomes aware. Ego becomes aware of what? That Atma is the only reality.
Very nice.
I myself am a phantom. I'm fictitious. So 24/7 awareness of my true nature.
Very beautiful.
That female genitalia means complete awareness of my true nature. And getting converted into stone means the mind is not pulled hither and thither by the senses or by thoughts or by vasanas, any temptations from vasanas. Mind becomes totally focused on the self.
Okay.
So Sakshi Bhava is taken by the mind, but it is still Bhava. So it is still ultimate stage of sadhana, still not complete self-abidance. When Rama comes, the Guru comes, And the touch of the Guru, the Jnana of the Guru, is given to such a sadhaka, such a mind, such a jiva. Chitta Shuddhi is there. Chitta Ekagrata is there. To such a mind, the Guru comes. Just the Pada Sparsha, that means a small bit of Jnana from the Guru, will
Right twig.
self-abidance and Sahaja Samadhi. So it comes back to life. She will function normally in the world, but she is abiding as the self.
Very beautiful, Vani.
Always recognizing Gautama. She is Gautama, not Indra.
Mm. Very beautiful.
That is the other kind of interpretation. Maybe it's an alternative interpretation.
No, all are valid.
Yeah, all are valid. All
Very,
are.
very beautiful.
But very, very nice, nicely sequenced talk. And you've packaged it so effectively in 7 minutes. So amazing.
Thank you, Vaniji. As you said,
Okay, Satyavati has become petrified.
am I audible?
Now you are.
Yeah. My internet is going up and down.
Okay, we are done.
That was a very beautiful explanation, Vaniji.
So,
As you
Vani,
said, yeah, each one can have their own way of. Very nice. Thank you. I think we have come to the end because two speakers, we are done with this. And it was very good, excellent presentation from all the Atmajyotis. Thank you. And Vaniji also for her valuable evaluation and also these special additional inputs again.
it was really
Very nice.
very super valuable.
Yeah.
Superb. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Always the Adhyatmika aspect itself, as you said, wow moments.
Wow moment.
Yeah, it's amazing. The revelations that come,
Yes.
they're amazing.
True.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll say the closing prayer and we'll end. Then we'll just talk about the next session. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya Om Shanti Shantihi Lokaha Samastaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Guru Charanarpanamastu